lounging, son.
Welcome back to the Comic Lounge. My name is Ryan,
And I'm Manny.
and we are back with another book that we really dug from this week. This one, from the minute it was announced, first thing I think on both of our minds was, yeah, that makes sense. That's a no-brainer. And it's Predator versus Wolverine. Phenomenal cover, great creative team. We get Benjamin Percy, who's currently writing the Wolverine ongoing, the Ghost Rider ongoing, X-Force ongoing. So makes sense that he would write this book. We get Ken Lashley, Greg Land, and Andrea DI Vito on art. So there's going to be different eras of Wolverine, which is going to be depicted by different artists. So Ken Lashley's doing the present, Greg Land is doing young Logan, which is in the year 1900, and then Andrea DI Vito is telling the days of him in Weapon X.
You got 3 time periods going on in this issue.
Yeah, I love the opening where he's just like he's walking in the forest and there's a chunk ripped out of his arm where his bone is just exposed. You don't see Wolverine often in this state. And you see him bloody, but not where there's like chunks of. Obviously, this is a mature or has a parental advisory on it, so this is definitely gonna like it's gonna be a bloody book.
Yeah, it's gonna push. Yeah, what Marvel does. So, and I'm glad, man. I mean, if you're gonna have the Predator fighting Wolverine, you don't want it to be tame.
But yeah, look, I mean, you just open with Wolverine. And you normally don't see him on the run being hunted, and he calls that out. Like now he's the prey.
I like that image of Wolverine too. Reminds me a little bit of Rob Liefeld in like a good way.
It does actually. You're right. Yeah. Look at that.
I love
cut.
the Predator vision too. Like the way
Yeah.
they colored that.
And the way Wolverine's talking deep cuts, plasma burns. I'm a leaking bag of blood.
Yes. Well, Ben Percy is really good at writing all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I really like his Wolverine stuff. It's been
Yeah.
phenomenal. There was actually a new issue of Wolverine out this week as well, and that one was like a team up with him and Hulk. Really good.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, he's on the run. Look at that. Every nerve in his body is firing a red alert. But he's trying to, and then look, I love how Predator is cloaked, but his cloaking device comes off because obviously Wolverine would be able to, with his senses, be able to track him. Like visually, he may not be able to see him, but he still has his like sense of smell that he was really super strong. Look at that. He wants us to face each other, to recognize each other as predator and prey when he rips out my spine. And then you see the claw marks on Predator.
Yeah, that was a good detail that I like flipping this issue a couple. I mean, I read it and then I kind of slowly flipped through it. I didn't notice that the first time around.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the things I noticed when I was reading. I'm like, did this just happen, or is this a predator that's been hunting him for a while? Because like they said, this hunt has been taken a long time. So when did that happen? I looked at the creative team, but I didn't know exactly the breakdown of how it was going to be. And I liked it, or Team X, not Weapon X. The way they have different artists depicting the different eras. And, this is, again, we don't really see Wolverine in this time period. So this is kind of interesting.
This is young Logan. I mean, way before Weapon X.
We got the bone claws.
He still looks like a young man.
And how he's like going underwater and raiding a beaver lodge, and he takes their pelts, and that's how he kind of survives and makes money.
Yes, and I like this narration too, that how he realizes that like the true danger is people, so he'd rather sort of live out in the wild by himself. Like that doesn't scare him, and he's not afraid of like wild animals or having to hunt. Like it's people and their stupidity and like their he knows that he's different, so he's staying away from people. So it's cool to see Wolverine's always been a loner even back then.
It's an era I wish like maybe we could explore more of him, like these years like before he kind of reintegrates himself back into society.
Yeah, like right after Origin, Nice image of the Predator too.
Yeah, dude, really good.
I'm a big Predator fan too, man. I mean, I grew up in the 80s. It was kind of hard not to be with how big the movie was. And I think he's a fun character, and I'm glad they're doing this because there's a history of Predator fighting all sorts of people in comics. I mean, Batman, Magnus, Robot Fighter. I think he even fought
Superman?
Archie.
Did he fight Superman? I know there's Superman aliens.
I'm not
I
sure
don't.
if he did. I know he
Okay.
definitely fought Batman because I had those, and I know there was an Archie versus Predator.
Yeah, Archie versus. It's a weird crossover. I mean, I guess so is Punisher Archie. But yeah, like I love how this Predator just comes up, and one of, there's another one just with spears and arrows in it, frozen under the water. I like the weapon too. This like,
I like that they're also using like the Predators, like alien named Yacht Jaw. Like
mhm.
as the Predators become like more popular, like they start expanding on the character. And this is all stuff from the movies. I mean, they've added very little. I think that they've always hinted at some kind of society for them, so it's kind of cool that they're exploring that also in some of the comics.
Yeah, it's something I'm not as familiar with. Like I know I've seen the first one when I was younger, but it's been such a long time since I've seen it, and I haven't watched all of them. And I definitely haven't seen the more recent one that I heard was really good. Wasn't it set in like America, like with like Native Americans, right?
Yes, Prey. Yeah, it's set like a few hundred years in the past.
But yeah, we have Logan coming up to this lodge, right? And he talks about kind of why he avoids it, except when he needs stuff. And there's
Yes,
this like creepy guy that is looking for somebody, obviously for a job, and Logan was the one that was
yeah.
recommended.
And I like this. This has like a Western vibe to it. Also reminds me of like that DiCaprio movie, The Revenant. So like
Yeah,
just the time period and the setting and how brutal everything is. Like again, it's cool to see Wolverine in this because he doesn't even have his training yet. So like this is just him, going off of whatever instincts he's been developing since he figured out what he was, and he's pretty brutal, man. I mean, cutting off a hand here.
yeah. I've always wondered why his hair is that way, and it's
Yeah,
and like, well, I mean, I know like you can make your hair like if you keep like pushing it back, like eventually like your hair
yeah.
will just like stay a certain way. You can train your hair. And I wonder if this is just from him like running through woods and it just kept blowing it back and blowing it back. And I was hair
Oh,
just,
that's a
I
good
don't
take
know.
on it,
I
man.
was just wondering, just because like he's not like that in Origin, right? His hair doesn't
No,
grow
yeah.
that way. But yeah,
I like when
I
he
love how
snaps
he
his
takes
hair.
everybody out, dude. And he doesn't even
Yeah,
pop
it's
the
a cool
claws
scene.
either.
He mentions that he doesn't because he doesn't want them to see the claws. Like
I love this too. And at one, what did he say? Trouble always has a way of finding me. And at one point or another, I had broken the bones of just about every man in Scar. I don't know if they wanted to see if they could beat me or if a part of them wanted to be punished. Yeah, this scene where he cuts the hand off with the dude, the gun's still in his
yeah,
hand.
and the guy tells him a sob story.
And he's like, yeah, they're holding my son for ransom. Please, I'm begging you. And then later on, you see like why Logan does it, and he has a soft spot for father son relationships. I love like this really serves no purpose. The scenes with Predator taking out the animals, but I kind of enjoyed looking at the quietness of it.
Yeah, I
Like
did
it's
too. Again, you mentioned the movie Prey earlier, and like there's a lot of this in Prey too, because so much of it takes place like in the wilderness.
mhm.
So it is nice, and it's a good way to show you like that the predator is maybe slowly building up to better prey. He's going after like a deer first, and then you see him go ram, and then it looks like a panther, and I like the killer whales too. I
Fucking
thought that
yeah,
was funny.
fucking orca. I was like, what?
Yeah,
Why the fuck is there an orca here?
and then I'm like, wow. I mean, I've never seen the predator in the ocean anywhere. That's kind of cool. And then you see the predator putting up his trophy. So it's in case you don't know anything about the predator, it kind of shows you what his mo is too. So I get it. And then we're back to Wolverine and the guy.
How about that, dude? The way it's his breath is showing the flashback. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really it is cool.
Then the horses get scared by something, right? They throw them off. What spook them? Do you see something? What's wrong? And boom, you see all these like dead, skinned animals. There's a human. Crazy, dude.
And this scene too, when Wolverine ambushes these dudes, bro. I love this too. Like the page there where he's killing them at the card table, and
Yeah,
now he
cause
pulls out his claws.
yeah, because he talks about the Athabascans, were the only folks around there he liked. They taught him how to forage,
Yeah,
and
yeah, and he thinks that these guys did this slaughter. That's the slaughter they came upon. The predators like trophies there that for all it for as of right now they think it's these men. So Wolverine's going into his like almost like his berserker
I
mode
love
here.
I love this severed hand just floating.
I do too.
It's fucking awesome, dude. And then the way that this dude, like, now he's backstabbing Logan, shoots him straight through the chest. Again,
It's
this is a
a great page with a great onomatopoeia. I love the blend there.
I love this too. This guy, so he was lying. He's stealing all this money, right? And right as he's about to go, the fucking predators fucking disintegrates his fucking head.
Boom.
Another great
And
shot of
then
the
of
predator.
course we get what we all came for is the first
Yes,
fight.
that's it. That's the only thing that I'll say. Like, I like the book, but it's oversized, and we barely get.
Yeah, that was gonna be my one little complaint is like I would have
Yeah,
rather gotten more meat, on my
yeah,
plate in this first one, but still they deliver it, and I'm guessing they're gonna save the big fight obviously for later, but it's enough of a tease,
yeah. I
and the
mean,
predator
it definitely
fucks him
gets
up.
better as we get towards the end of the book. We're definitely getting more fighting and
Yes.
what we paid the $8 for. Well, you can see predators never come across someone like Logan before. And I love this, the wheeze sound as the mask is coming off. And then you get that like
Classic.
just full on look at Predator without the helmet. I'm gonna carve the ugly off you. But look at this dude. Like Wolverine is just like his claws get broken.
I like the narration here. Like we both have our own ways of healing. Like the predator has like all these injections he can give himself. Like notice basically he's stapling the wound, and I don't know if you noticed that too.
Yeah. Yeah, this is great, dude.
Yeah, this is a good fight, and I like that it's in the snow.
It's at night in the snow, yeah. So it's like
Yeah,
completely dark, and he's going to his he's gonna go to his cave for a reason too. I kind of like this too. And Predator jumps in front, and then boom, that bear that was in the cave earlier.
yeah. Shades of the demon bear.
And he's like, don't get many smiles in me, but I might have cracked one then, because nothing will make you feel more alive than the taste of death.
He steals the weapon there.
And then look, so that's what's crazy too, is the scratch marks aren't even from Logan, it's from the bear.
It's from the bear.
And so Logan, traipses off, thinks he won. Nope. And what he didn't realize is not until many years later, this is just the beginning. And you see Predator with the decapitated bear head.
Yeah,
And then we jump years later when he's with Team X, with Sabretooth, Jackson, Cruel, and Maverick.
I
And
love this Team X stuff too. It's
yeah.
a
And at this point, like, he doesn't have all his memories. So he doesn't remember, who he was. He doesn't remember that he's James Howlett. He doesn't remember that
he's not gonna remember fighting the predator either.
Yeah.
And this is cool too because this is very much in line with like the first Predator movie. You got your crew of badasses descending into a jungle in South America and finding like elements of the Predator. Like it could almost be taking place parallel to the events of the movie if you wanted to think of it that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's like same time, same sort of thing, which is cool.
Yeah, it's great too. It's like, look, this time he brought reinforcements. Crazy, dude.
So I guess next issue is we're gonna get Team X versus Predators, which is cool. Like
Yeah, no, dude. I mean, look, this was a fun book. I definitely am not mad that I picked this up. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes I pick up a book based on like just the concept of what I think it could be. Like, oh, this sounds like it'd be cool, and it doesn't always deliver. But I think this one did, and I think the reason it did is because I think Ben Percy knows how to write a good Wolverine story. And at the heart of this, you knew it was always going to be mostly Wolverine with Predator a part of it, right? I like the choice to have the 3 different time periods. I wonder if that's going to continue. I haven't looked ahead to see like the creative team on each issue. Like, is it going to be the same 3 artists? Is it going to have maybe switch out different time periods? Right. Are we not going to get
how many issues do you know? And is this the first time Marvel has done this versus stuff since they've had the Predator license? It is, right?
This is the first crossover between, any of the 20th Century Fox properties with Marvel.
With the Marvel. Well, doing Wolverine was a no-brainer.
We'll
see if they do any other ones.
Yeah, so it is going to be 4 issues. Like they said, it's going to span decades, right? So how many artists are going to be a part of this book? I'm
right, and at what time periods have we yet to see? Are we going to see like '90s X-Men Wolverine? Are we gonna see, like a Weapon X era Wolverine, which I'm sure we will.
Right,
Like
and
it's
because
on the
it's
cover.
at a
So
certain point, it has to stop for a while because he does get his memories back, so he would remember. So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of fit in his fights with Predator over the span
among
of
right of all the stuff he's been through, yeah, that I'm curious, and I hadn't thought about that, but that's gonna be interesting to see unfold. Obviously, we're gonna see a more seasoned Wolverine fight the Predator later, so it's gonna be much more of a badass fight. So again, fun comic, man. Like hopefully the rest of them aren't gonna be 7.99, but that's your,
they will be. They'll,
yeah,
yeah, they're probably still gonna be 7.99, but that whatever. I enjoyed the book. I like it.
yeah, yeah.
I'm definitely coming
Obviously, I
back for
still
more.
bought it.
But yeah, I definitely think it's worth checking out if you like Predator or Wolverine, or even if you just like fun. I don't know how to describe, not event, but like if you like these like versus books or these crossover books, I think it's done really well, and it
Yes.
has a compelling story to where it doesn't just feel like it's forced. So definitely go pick it up. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you're notified every time a new vid drops. And on that note, we're out.
We'll catch you next time, guys.